Hello, hello, hello. No, don't play the intro. I gotta turn that off. Anyways, hi. Oh, gotta move the camera. Shoot, I bumped it. 1 second. There we go. Where's the music? There's the music. How's everyone doing today? It's Wednesday. It's not Tuesday. It's Wednesday. John Stern, I'm in Nanchang right now. That's not where you're normally at, isn't it? So how's everyone doing today? Today's gonna be a shorter stream. I normally don't stream on Wednesdays, but yesterday something happened and I couldn't stream normally. So I'm like, I'll just push it ahead a day. And this is like the only time period I have because I got stuff tonight. So it's gonna be a shorter stream today. I was actually originally going to do it this afternoon, and then I realized I got some family stuff. So this stream is probably an hour or two, maybe. I'm not even wearing a hat. Oh my God, I'm not even dressed. You're seeing my shame. There we go. It is Wednesday, my dudes. It is. Today's normally the game stream day, which will be tomorrow. I didn't do a game stream on Monday. I completely forgot about that. Anyways, I just took a high-speed train from Suzhou to Nanjing. Most of the 5 hours of traveling. John, those are funny words. People in America don't know what high-speed rail is. I mean, I'm in Canada. I don't know what it is either. This feels wrong. I know, it's weird. It's really weird. Also, we were supposed to fix the V2. Because my V2 died. Well, it didn't die. It committed Sudoku, and like kind of killed itself trying to print this. I don't know what happened. So we got to do an autopsy on that, but I don't know if we'll get to that today. So what I'm thinking, Friday, the stream Friday. What I am thinking is Friday is the Starship launch. In-flight test 2 for Starship is this Friday, or at least that's what they're planning. So what I'm thinking is we're gonna do this Friday a print and fix, or a fix and print and spaceships stream. I think. Did the front fall off? No, but I killed a Revo Obsidian. It broke it. So this Friday we're gonna do a fix and print and spaceships stream. So we're gonna fix the V2. We are going to print with the V2 once we make sure it's fixed, and then we're going to watch a Starship. So the thing is, I don't know what time the launch is. I think it's early. So Friday's stream might be an early stream. Starship fail. Well, here's the thing. They don't have a way to land it. So no matter what, there will be an explosion. I don't know about you, but I like explosions. So we'll do that. I think we'll do that. Good morning. Explosion, sign me up. Yeah. So last time there was an in-flight test of Starship, I was watching it at an airport on my way to Colorado for Rocky Mountain. So I'm hoping it takes place this time because I don't want to be watching it in an airport flying to England. So yeah. So today's stream is Nero like Big Boom. So today's stream is going to be pretty laid back. All we're pretty much doing, and then I think we'll print with chocolate. By the way, if you're cold, they're cold. Bring them in. I was hoping to get some more B-roll today because I think I'm ready to do the video on the Coco press. I just need to get more B-roll of it printing because just me sitting here talking, going blah, 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 blah is boring. So I need more B-roll to intersperse. So I got to print more things on it. However, the Coco press has a min temp of 10 Celsius. So it being Marlin and whatever, it's not easy to fix because I'd have to reflash it. But basically, most printers have a min and max temp, where if it reads a temperature on a thermistor that's above or below the min max temp, it assumes something's wrong. So on the Coco press, the min temp is 10 degrees Celsius. So when I wake up and I come out in the garage and it's 4 degrees Celsius, Coco press no go Coco. Coco press no go Coco. So I brought it inside the house to warm it up, and then I kind of forgot to print stuff. So if we get this done, we'll print some stuff on the Coco press, because right now I got the heater going and it's 16 out here now, so we're okay. So in the meantime, let's, you know, as much as I enjoy freehanding heat sets, we are going to build a heat set press finally. That is what we're doing today. That is kind of the plan for today's stream. We're going to build a heat set press. It shouldn't take too long. There's a bunch of different designs out there. If you want to be all Gucci and fancy, there's Naomi Wu's one. I don't know if I can recommend that now, because I don't know how hopefully she's doing okay. So if you do buy one of those, hopefully the money goes to her. But I don't know her status, so I'd be hesitant, but either way. And then there's Vector 3D has another nice heat set press. Let me pull it up here. So there's a bunch of these now. And because now we've moved beyond the age of Prusa and inserted square T-nuts or square nuts or whatever the heck Prusa keeps doing. Like we're in the, welcome to the future. We have heat sets. So because we have heat sets, people like heat set presses. Now, do you need a heat set press? Not really. I've built every Voron on this channel to date and every other thing on this channel to date without one. You don't need one, but they are nice. They are nice to have. So there's a few different designs out there. Now, a common thread with a lot of these designs seems to be the guy who designed it went through their spare parts bin, and whatever they kind of had hanging around, they used. So in this one, hey, do you got an old Ender around? Yeah, just steal some parts off an Ender. You can build it. We got a counterweight here. Because when I said I was making this, people are like, oh, how's this compared to that? Why is this? But this one is, for those that don't know, this is the stealth press. The stealth press. That's what it's called. Link in the video description. Let me pull it up here. So this one is open source. The files for it are on printables. So the cool thing with this one, it's called the stealth press, because I got a feeling the guy who designed it has, you know, does Voron stuff or is part of the Voron cabal of people who like Vorons. So the fun thing is, if you have built a Voron, you probably have enough spare parts kicking around at home to build one of these. So this kit is a KB3D kit. You don't need to buy it from KB3D. KB3D was nice enough. They put together a kit for this press, and they sent me a part kit for it. However, the actual designer of it, Iconic Fab, the files are just on printables, along with the BOM and the instructions and everything. So if you have built a Voron, you probably have the parts to build one of these on hand, because it pretty much just uses just normal Voron BOM parts. This is pretty much it. The only Gucci thing is a rail, a 300mm rail, and a key back. So it uses a key back, which is what the stealth burner uses to keep the heater up. So instead of using weights or pistons or some other Gucci fancy thing, it uses a key retainer. But here's the fun thing. If you don't have a key back, you could probably just swap it out with a bunch of weight. You could easily modify this. So here's a fun thing. Here's another fun thing. Quote how many times I say fun things today. Spare linear rail. Exactly, Dr. Peter. So you need the spec design for this is a 300mm MGN 12. Well, hey, for all those people out there that built a V2, okay, a V2, a 2.1, a 2. Or actually no, it would be a 2.2. Or no, it would be a 2.4. If you built a 2.4 prior to Voron coming out with the stealth burner, where we now have a single MGN 12, before it was all MGN 9s, you have some spare MGN 9s. Well, hooray for community mods, because somebody designed a mod that uses an MGN 9. So fun thing, if you have built a Voron, like I have, and then you updated that to stealth burner, and now you have spare MGN 9 rails kicking about, hey, you pretty much have everything you need to build this minus a key back. Because like the bearings are just normal Voron bearings. They're F695 flange bearings. Like this is it. This is the parts kit and heat sets. So other than the key back and the rail, it's that. So is this one better than the other ones? It's a heat set press. They all do exactly the same things. Build the one that you have the parts to build already on hand, or buy a kit from KB3D. Link in the video description. It's not an affiliate link. So if you are interested in that, link in the description. So the advantage with this one is it's pretty much all 3D printed. Since it has this nice rail, for the vertical, that's your stiffness. So you don't need to do something like this one where, you know, this one relies on an extrusion. This one relies on the rail for the rigidity along with printed parts. So yeah, I have 2 spare MG. There you go, Paul, build one of these. Build one of these. Go ahead, build one, start printing. Is VZBot? No, the VZBot is printing. I actually have it on the ground and I was printing with it the other day. The VZBot is finished, but we haven't enclosed it yet. So I'm basically printing with it just to make sure everything's all good and hunky-dory. I probably will be swapping these. On Friday's stream, we'll probably do some moving around out here. I gotta move some stuff. Because that's gonna go on the shelf. Actually, I gotta make sure it fits on the shelf. 1 second. Today's stream's kind of, you could tell today's stream's kind of a little oddball-y. But speaking of that, while I do some measurements, if you haven't entered, every stream we give away a spool of Polymaker filament. Link in the video description. So enter for your chance to win some Polymaker filament. Do that now. Yeah, that'll fit. Because we'll do the draw, I don't know, whenever the stream ends. I don't know how long the stream's gonna be today. So there we go. So we got that. Got our key back. Oh, and you're gonna need a soldering iron. So I went out and bought the cheapest soldering iron I could get on Amazon. This was a $20 soldering iron. It came with a bunch of goodies I'm never gonna use. And then, hey, if you built an LDO kit, it comes with this really nice heat set thingamajig, heat set tool. So how these work, most of these cheap irons use the same mounting system as, I think, Weller. So you take off this flange thing, you put on your heat set thing, and then you screw this on, and you're good to go. This one I like because you can set the temperature, it's digital, but also there's actually a physical on and off switch on this. So it's actually got a physical on and off switch. I don't know if that'll be a problem, but we'll find out. So that's the iron we're gonna be using. The ones from CNC Kitchen. There's a whole bunch. Like if you've built an LDO kit, it comes with this. I'm trying to show off building this as cheap as possible because, you know, let's be honest, we're all cheap. In today's economy, you gotta be cheap. Is it a Hacko style tip? Okay, that's what it is. I know it's like they all use the same one. So I printed all my parts in ABS. The plan was to print half of them on the bamboo, because I've got the AMS up there and it's loaded with like a bunch of spools of black. And then half of it was gonna be on a Voron because that also had black filament loaded in it and I'm lazy. Unfortunately, my Voron committed Sudoku, so I ended up printing everything on the bamboo. And then I went to print more stuff this morning and it failed horribly because it was too cold out here, so I should have let it preheat. So because of that, everything's got a massive brim on it. I wouldn't say gatekeeping. Here's the thing. There's a difference between being cheap and being cheap, if that makes sense. Like for those that try to build a Voron, I've seen people try and build a Voron V2 with one Z motor. They're like, oh, I'll just tie all four Z, instead of, you know, 4 separate Z motors into one. That's being cheap. Using stuff you have on hand, that's being cheap too, but that's the good being cheap. There's good being cheap, and then there's bad being cheap. Be the good being cheap. Oh, was it a Revo? Yeah, it was a Revo. A Revo Obsidian too. I'm just cleaning up the part here. So while that's doing that, let's regale you with some stuff that's going on in the world of 3DP. So for those that know, this weekend, there's 2 charity things coming up. There's 2 charity streams coming up. So this weekend is the 1440 Makes with Same Old Shane charity stream. It's for Maui, I believe. I'm taking part in this. Okay, so I don't know which panel I'm on. Shane, if you're here, what panel am I on? I think I'm in the Makers. making a living, or I think I'm in this panel. I think I'm in this panel, and this is Saturday. So if you are free this weekend, there will not be a normal Saturday stream on my channel. I will be taking part in this instead, okay? So there won't be a normal Saturday stream on my channel. I'll be taking part in this, okay? So it is a charity stream. It's for Maui. They had a bunch of fires this year, and this is a charity stream raising money for that cause. So if you're wondering why there won't be a Saturday stream, it's because I will be streaming Saturday. It'll just be on this for charity. So, and since this is an all-day stream, I'm not gonna try and compete because I'm not going to. You guys get one 3D printing stream out of me a day. I might do a gaming stream though. We might do a gaming stream. We'll see. Depends on the time. And then also Smurf is coming up. Now, for those interested in Smurf, the Sanjay Mortimer Rep Rap Festival, which is being put on by E3D, they are doing an auction. Now, you don't have to be there to participate in the auction. However, there is this one lot here. And this lot, if you do participate and you do win, is gonna be fun trying to move around. But it is a Voron Redacted prototype serial number 1. So that is something some people may be interested in. Yes, the current bid is at $3,500. So for those wondering, is that a V24? Is that the V24? Because that was a prototype. Well, V24 is V24. This is redacted. Also, V24 is serial number 0. So I don't know what that is. I mean, I know what it is, but do you know what it is? So that'll be interesting. Just making sure all these parts are nice and clean. SCP Voron. Don't look at it directly. It'll chase you forever. That was like one of the freakiest SCPs. The one where Buddy, if you see it, it will just chase you until it gets rid of you. And the one guy, if you read the story, he took a picture of it in the Himalayas, and it was like the picture was so far away, it was like 1 pixel of it. And he spent his whole life with the picture on the wall, and he never noticed it until all of a sudden he noticed the pixel, and he was like, what's that? And all of a sudden the thing wakes up, and yeah, go read it. It's good. SCPs are good. Okay, let's get building. So yeah, so Smurf is coming up in like 18 or 19 days, which holy shit. I gotta get ready for that somehow. This is really cool. This one is from Brandon Builds. He builds awesome printers that are like super Gucci with the wiring management and whatnot. So he built this platform. You can do whatever with it, but it's a motion platform, kind of like the E3D tool changer. So he built that. That's gonna be available. Seabor's got a totally pimped out V0. Custom figurines by who? Who is this? I don't know who that is. Emily of Elf. Okay. Bamboo is a P1S. It's not as cool as this though. We got some Polymaker Filament. We got some printers from Prusa and Zax. Somehow the Prusa Mark IV is going for more than a Bamboo. We got a 250 kit from Lineo, Vector Finesse Hedamames. A lot of good prizes here. Revo Mega Pack. If I was in England, this is what I would be bidding on. I would love the beer, but the beer also comes with tickets of the like tour of the brewery and whatnot. So your height in cases of beer. Oh shoot, this is cases of beer. Yeah, I'm kind of not. I don't live in England. Like, come on, Commonwealth. I'm in the Commonwealth, but I'm not in England. So unfortunately, I can't bid on this because otherwise I would be throwing money at that. And a whole bunch of other stuff. So those are the 2 charity things coming up. Make sure you're following them. It's always good. Even if you're not able to donate or participate, or correction, even if you can't donate, at least participate, because by you participating, it drives the algorithm and it gets more eyes on it, and the more eyes on it, the more funds are raised. More funds are raised for good causes. So those are coming up. So let's actually do the thing instead of me stalling, because I don't have content for today other than this. So instead of me stalling, let's actually get to building. Oh, hey, there's a manual too. That's good. If we win, I will forward it to my mouth for you. Appreciate it. So let me get my heat set, my soldering iron hooked up here, because I haven't actually used this soldering iron yet, so I'm hoping it actually works, because this is a new one. I haven't actually plugged it in yet. Okay, so you come over here, you come over here, you come over here. Okay, so we're off to a great start. We're off to a great start. It's set for 350, which is okay temperature. It'll work. We're set for 350, and the digital readout, the 3 doesn't work. We are at --50. Hopefully that's 350. Is that 350? Yeah, that's 350. Okay. So yeah, off to a great start. Soldering iron, digital readout don't work. Hopefully the actual iron works. Otherwise, yep, I can smell it. The iron works. Okay, so let that heat up. So to begin, Stealth Press, open source heatset press designed by Maris. Project is designed easiness to source and build, mostly 3D printed. Does use some high quality parts. There are multiple projects like this available. Almost all of them rely on Masumi standard 2020 or 4020 extrusions, which add extra cost, time, complexity. This Stealth Press relies on a single rail and then printed parts. Integrated printable build plate. That's another critical element. That's one thing I like about this one. This one, the stand is kind of small, which has advantages to it. Don't get me wrong. There are advantages to having a smaller stand, but for something with a hot iron on it, I kind of prefer a bigger stand. Okay, it uses a keyback as the reel to ensure longevity. So basically it holds the heating element up. Stealth Press uses keyback and some cork. Okay, so it's licensed under OpenGL 3.0, so you could do all this fun stuff with it, but you can't, there's no warranty and there's no liability. If you want to modify this or do anything, you have to release anything you modify under the OpenGL license, state changes, disclose source, and put it under the same license. Easy peasy. So if you want to make kits of this or sell this thing, you can, go for it, have fun. Printing part guidelines. Voron settings. I just use Voron settings for everything, which these are Voron settings. You probably are going to want to print this in PETG at a minimum, ABS recommended, because it's a soldering iron involved. Those get hot. There's your parts. It's all Voron standard stuff here, if you've ever built a Voron. Okay, starting off. Heat sets. Everyone loves heat sets. Let's get the heat sets out. Good if the back stand was filled with weight on top. No, because it's going to fall forward. So the stand is actually kind of big. So you actually have this like platform here and the weight's over here. So it would have to like tip the whole thing over, which isn't really going to happen, I don't think. I'll test out its stability. Once we get it built, I will play around with it to see how its stability is. But I really don't think we'll have to worry about it tipping. So I'm going to do what I always do, get my little tray of heat sets, and I'm going to dump all my heat sets, because these are the standard Voron ones, into there, because I'm not chasing down heat sets. There we go. Okay, so let's get started. So first things first, all heat sets have the same size as the Voron's ones. Awesome possum. Add heat set insert. Also, I love the actual 3D files in here. Those look nice. Okay, these are made of brass, blah, blah, blah. Heat them to approximately 250 C. Ooh, let me drop the temps down then. Let's drop them down to 250, because actually 350 is a little hot. Drop that iron down to 250. As the plastic cools, around the knurl, the ridges extend, blah, 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 blah. So we need to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in here. 250, that's hot. That's what it says. Usually I run my iron, now here's the thing, I don't know what I run my iron at, because the iron I've been using for the longest time, the actual dial broke off of it. So I just put it on hot. I don't know how hot that is, but it's hot. I made Gridfinity for one of my, that's one thing we're gonna be doing in the future. I gotta start printing Gridfinity, because I gotta get this toolbox all tricked out with Gridfinity. Because I figure, instead of piling stuff on my bench here, I should actually use the toolbox that has 13 drawers in it to actually do my, proper stuff properly. Because that would be smart. But we don't do that around here. So I printed everything here is pretty much all Polymaker ABS. So unfortunately, we're suffering from the same problem as like, when you buy a pair of scissors and it comes in that plastic case and you have to use scissors to cut it out of the packaging. We're kind of in the same conundrum here. I need to put heat sets in my heatset press so I can use it to put heat sets in things. So I need one of these to build one of these. So building the first one will be hard, but if you want to build like 30 of these, you're golden after you build the first one. And I'm realizing I've got to have some printed parts somewhere I can test on this. There we go. So what's everyone up to today? What is everyone up to today? It's a Wednesday. I normally don't stream on the YouTubes on the Wednesday. Normally this is the Twitch stream day, which we're in Act 3 of Baldur's Gate now. And I'm getting kind of, I'm getting a little antsy with my Baldur's Gate playthrough, because the problem is I'm only playing like 6 to 9 hours a week on the playthrough that I'm only playing during the stream, and I want to start an evil character, but it's like I got to finish the main character first. There we go. So you want to make sure all these are at least flush or ever so slightly below the surface. Thinking of drinking, I'm thinking and drinking tea. There you go. I've got my gamer subs here. I totally didn't fire up a Twitch gaming channel so I can try and get a gamer sub sponsorship. That isn't something I'm trying to do. Nope, nope. Not doing that. Okay, so we got the next piece. Let me zoom out here because that's kind of big. Heat set insert. So this is the vertical. So we got 2 there. We got a bunch here and 2 on the other side. This has a lot of heat sets. I should have just printed 2 of these. I also have tea. Look at all the Brits here working in electrician work on a horrible renovation. Ooh. As somebody who's done work on previously, like the house that I own is not, I didn't build this house, somebody before me did, and has done renovations both on stuff the builder did and then also stuff the previous owner did in the basement. I don't envy you. There is nothing worse than inheriting somebody else's project. Iconic Fab, who also is the designer of this, if you're wondering, has gifted 5 community memberships. Cheers, appreciate it. Yeah, nothing is worse than inheriting somebody else's project. That's why, like, whenever I see, I peruse the Reddits and other Discords and whatnot, and I see somebody like, oh, hey, there's an Ender for sale local for like $200. Should I buy it? And I look at it, and it's got like, buddy literally went on Thingiverse, searched Ender 3 mods, and installed like the first top 10 on it. I'm like, no, 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 run away, run away. Printed parts for Trident. I got a Trident already. I was printing replacement parts for the V2 because I don't think any of the plastic parts are damaged on the V2. But I was gonna print some in case, like some of the stealth burner parts. That way, if we find out they are damaged, I have replacements ready to go. But I started the print when my garage was too cold, and the parts all warped off the bed on the bamboo. Because even though the bed got to 100°C, the chamber temperature was like not even 30. Because it's got like the little chamber temperature readout in it. Let me see, what is it right now? Orca slicer. Orca. How warm is it inside the bamboo? So like a bunch of the parts warped off the bed and made spaghetti, which I was kind of disappointed in. Yeah, device. What do you set up a connection? What do you mean set up a connection? Oh, Polymaker OG. We are, oh, I don't have it on this computer. Let me just push the button. Right now in the Bamboo, it is, yeah, I know I canceled the print close. It is 26 Celsius in the Bamboo, which like an hour into printing, it was like 31. And I'm like, oh yeah, they're not gonna make it. FPV flights before winter. I've done a few flights. Here's the thing, like for me, FPV, I live in Southern Ontario. It's flat, boring farmland as far as the eye can see. And there's no like crown land. There's very little public land, like other than parks. So I've taken my quads out a few times this year. I like taking the tiny whoops on days when there's no wind down to like the park when the kids are in school. So actually I did, the most FPV I did this year was in like the spring. Because like it's already cold out there, and for us, our falls are pretty windy. Like our falls are pretty windy here. So I did some during the summer, but during the spring, what I would do is take my little tiny whoop and my Odonata, which is like a little 1.5 inch. It's not a tiny whoop, but it's like that small. It flies on 2S or 3S, I can't remember. Anyways, I take them to parks, like little kid parks when there's no kids around because they're in school. And tiny whoops in parks are awesome. It's like, it's amazing to fly through, like, cause you got like the slides and whatnot and all the jungle gym stuff. It's fun flying tiny whoops around that stuff. So that was kind of what I was doing earlier this year. But now it's kind of like really cold and windy out. So I haven't been flying too much lately, and winter's coming, and that pretty much is the end of it here. Cause you know, I don't want to lose my long range quad in a cornfield in the snow. Bamboo has bigger panel gaps than a Tesla. At least they line up on the Bamboo. I give them credit. At least their panel gaps line up on like a Tesla. And as somebody who has built tooling for Tesla, I would never buy a Tesla. No snowmobiling? I don't snowmobile. Again, I live in Southern Ontario. It's flat, boring farmland. There's no crown land. So I don't know what it's called in the States, but in Canada, we call it crown land, which is basically like land the government owns, and it's like free to do whatever on. You can like go hunt on it, and like it's crown land. Southern Ontario has no crown land. So there's no public land. So everything is either owned by like the city or owned by people. And since it's all farmland around me, it's owned by farmers. And they don't really appreciate it because they all do like winter wheat and stuff like that. So they really don't like it when you go trampling around out there. They don't really approve. They always get uppity with the snowmobilers and the ATV guys when, you know, they cut trenches in their field and paths and whatnot. My 5 inches intimidating in public parks. I'm afraid to gun it too hard and crash into trees. Ooh. My biggest quad is my LR, which is actually, my biggest quad is sub 250. I've got a 3-inch that weighs like 300 grams that I totally have a license for. I paid the $5 for the fee to register it here in Canada. But the one I like the most is probably my LR4 because it's a long range. It's modified. So I've gone ahead and it's got a new stack in it. I've changed out a few printed parts on it, and I'm trying to remember what else. I've done some, oh, and it's got a naked Vista in it. So it's got a Cadex Vista with the stripped down. So it's sub 250, and it'll fly around on a 1100 milliamp hour 4S high volt. For at least, I've gotten 10 minutes out of it. And it's sub 250 all up weight. So it's like my cruiser. So if I'm like going to a park and I'm just gonna like cruise around for a while, it is a long range quad, but I use it just for cruising because it's very stable. So what I'll do is I'll just, you know, flying around. I'll just flying around. I don't really take it out too far because again, it's flat, boring farm field. It's like, wow, this farm field looks like the farm field I flew over a kilometer ago. But it's kind of like my exploring quad. So I'll bring it to like a park or something and just cruise around everywhere with it. And it's got ELRS on it and whatnot, so I'm not too concerned. And it's got GPS too, so it'll find its way home, hopefully. I haven't had to, other than testing the GPS, I haven't had to really use it, so. Top part has hidden cork not described in a check bottom front of bearing assembly. It has 2 holes. A small U-shaped filament part will act as a buffer for rail coverage. So this part? Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, okay. So top part has hidden cork not described in manual. Check bottom front of bearing assembly. It has 2 holes. Add small U-shaped filament part. Okay. So that. Okay, I gotta adjust this camera. You come over here. Okay, so this is the top part. Okay, so you can see here, this is the top part. And we've got these 2 little holes here. So this mounts like this. Okay, so it'll sit in the press like this. And there's this. So what I gotta do is put a piece of filament to act like a spring, I guess. Is this, here, let me get some bright filament. Yeah, we'll use this. Ah, there we go. Red. Accent. Is it a dead cat fly? Oh yeah, the quad, the LR4 is a Flywoo LR4. Pull it up here. But mine's not stock. I got it from somebody. They sent me they gave me a bunch of old stuff that they weren't flying with. So when I got this, it didn't have any video in it at all, and no receiver. So what? No, don't spin to win. Go away. So when I got it, and the stack was broken, so I put a new stack in it. What else? I put a new stack in it. I put a naked Vista in it. So what it is I run the DJI system for video on this quad. It's actually the first quad I have. So I got the DJI video system in it, and the Vista unit is the transmitter. And there we go. So this is what I've done. So it basically acts like a little buffer. So when it comes up, it bounces off that. That's a little long. Let me shorten that a bit. So a naked Vista is you basically take the receiver and you take the case off of it. So you save like 15 or 20 grams. But the downside is you don't have a case on it anymore. So everything on this quad is slathered in conformal coating. There we go. I wonder if TPU would be better for this, but basically this helps it so when it comes up, it doesn't bounce. 3D Medic Vince, hello there. It's been a while, hasn't it? Okay. So that isn't called out in here, but there's that. Okay, now we got to put together the bearing blocks. Sweet. So I think that's it for the heat set. So let me turn that off. It's so nice. I used to have to unplug the heat set, but that one has a switch on it. So let's get to that. So we got this. We've got those. We've got these screws. And I think they're just screws into plastic. Yep. And we got some printed shims. What I might do is I might pull this stream, like download the stream, and I might cut this into a video. We'll see. So it's a bearing stack. So spacer or flange or bearing or washer, whatever. So washer, bearing, bearing, washer. Same old, same old. Wait, is it only on one side? Add heat set inserts for bearing. Wait, add heat set for bearing assembly top part. Okay, we've done that. So printed shim. So I'm using the printed shims. So it looks like only one shim. Is it only one shim or two shims? It's showing one shim. Normally there's a shim on each side, but is it one or two? Because it told me to print 4. Yeah, it shows one shim. I'm just confused because it shows one. But usually you put 2. What's the reason for the heat set press? To make it easier to put heat sets in things. Yeah, I'll try it with just the one shim. Where are my tweezers? Iconic fat. Oh, wait, what's he saying? He's smiling. So do I put 1 or 2 shims? He just keeps smiling. Iconic fab. 1 or 2 shims? Yeah. Okay, let me get my... One is mandatory, 2 depends on how precise your print is. Okay. Does it actually say that in the manual though? Instance of that, metal or printed shim. Yeah, you might want to put a call out here saying that, hey, add heat sets for bearings. So for the flanges or for the shim, you might need 2. You're probably going to need 2 if your print's good, because I'm looking at here, I need 2. So 1 on each side. Let me just back this screw out a bit. Okay. Do the close-up. Oh shit, too far. Which, by the way, you don't have to use the printed shims. If you have extra washers, you can use washers. That was a great camera angle for that, by the way. I'm sorry. There we go. There we go. Also, think you got a big enough counterbore on these? That is a massive counterbore. So much room for activities. Okay, so we got shim. Come on. Nope, dang it, come on. There we go. I mean, it's clearance, right? So in the end of the day, it doesn't really matter how big your counterbore is as long as it's big enough, right? It's clearance. So, I mean, it is better to have it bigger than, you know, it's better to have it too big than too small. Because if it's too big, it's just too big. It's cosmetic. If it's too small, it don't work. It seems you're contracting a lot. This must not be a pressing matter. Okay, so those are those. Okay, assembly. This is an optional quality of life improvement. You can add an extra M312 bolt instead of M38 in hand with an additional heat set. This will prevent the bearing block from sliding off. Okay, so now we're putting this all together. Assembly spine. Okay, Put the bolts into the designated inserts. Do not over tighten. Make sure all plastic parts are mounted to the linear rail, straight and flush. Check if everything is dimensionally accurate. Prevent bearing box from sliding off at all costs. Okay, so at the bottom you put one in like that to prevent it from sliding off. Okay, so it's what, one? How many holes up is that? I can't really see. 2? Okay, so one up. Okay, yeah, one up. Okay. So now this goes here. This goes, I guess, here. These just kind of line up, I guess. And that just goes like that. Okay. Got a bit of a misalignment. That's okay. We've got a tool for that. I don't know why this doesn't fit together. There we go. That works. There we go. Okay. So we'll take that one out. So what I'm actually gonna do, I'm gonna put a little grease in here, just to give it a little bit of stiction. You probably don't have to grease this up. I am, because why not? I'm just putting a little bit in, just so there is some grease. There we go. When your hammer, everything's a nail. Exactly. Wait, what? KB3D's here. Hello. I'm using your kit. Link in the description. Okay, let's start mounting this. So this mounts pretty easily, apparently. You just take these out. Oh no, we don't have an alignment tool. Whatever shall we do without an alignment tool? How will we keep things aligned? Hammer variable pressure applicator. Make an alignment tool. I don't think we need an alignment tool for this. I think we're okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to screw in the middle part here first. And then I'll attach everything else. Okay, so that's that. I think it's surprisingly tall. It's got to be. It kind of has to be to, because you need clearance for the iron, and then you need clearance for whatever you're putting the heat set into, right? There we go. New LTT screwdriver. Yeah, it's like a precision one, isn't it? There we go. So I put the top and bottom screw in for each part, and now I'm just gonna work my way up. But we're gonna skip this one because what we're gonna do is put a stopper in here. You probably don't need a rail this long. You probably, you need a rail this long for rigidity, but functionally you don't really need a rail this long because it's not like you're going to be running the carriage down to here. My son is determined to test the 1 million pulls claim on the key back. Oh, geez. Well, it'll keep your kid busy. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking an M12 screw, I'm putting a heat set on it, so I'm screwing it into a heat set, bottoming it out, and then I'm screwing that into the second one up from the bottom. Okay. Tight. So this way it prevents this from falling off the bottom. Okay, because you're never going to need to come down here like with the heat set iron, but this will prevent it during assembly and maintenance or whatever from flying off the end, which, because you don't want that. Maintenance. You know, at some point you may have to take this apart. And if you ever have the one person that has to take this apart after building it, they're gonna be glad they did this because it'll prevent the rail from coming off. Also, I just realized KB3D has their name engraved on these, or etched. Now, you are screwing into heat sets here, but always be careful. You don't want to overdo it, because the last thing you want to do is rip out that heat set. Which is also when you set these heat sets, this is why you want the heat sets to be flush with the surface. You don't want to overseat your heat sets, because you may think, hey, I set my heat set deeper in the plastic, it's going to be stronger. No, because the weak point is the plastic. So what happens is as you tighten your screw, you're pulling on the heat set. You're not pulling on the plastic, you're pulling on the heat set, which is gripping into the plastic. So if your heat set is sunk below the surface of the plastic, what can happen is you can actually pull the heat set up. And the moment it might have a little bit of give, like this is ABS, so you are gonna have a little bit of give, but the moment you pull it up and it like a little too much and it like breaks free from the plastic, now it ain't doing anything. Now it'll probably bottom out against the bottom of your rail, but it's not actually gripped into the plastic anymore. So that's something you gotta kind of pay attention to. There you go. Voila. So we've done that. And then we have the support arms. So these attach, oh, I didn't put the heat sets here. Let me turn this back on. So we've got two support arms that I have to put some heat sets in. We designed it so the heat sets went in from the back. It'd be a little overkill at that point, because if they went in from the back, two things. One, as you push in a heat set, there's a chance that you can get plastic coming around the other end. So you kind of always like a heat set. It depends on the forces being involved, okay? Because if you have, you know, heat set here and then you have a bunch of plastic with a hole through it and then the object that you're screwing through, the heat set is kind of like sandwiching everything. The problem is when you push the heat set in, you can always build up plastic around it, so you'd have to clear out the plastic from every hole. Also, this is plenty strong as is. It's only going up and down. There's no forces like this involved. If you had forces like this involved, maybe. Or a lot of force like trying to tilt it over, you may want, but this is straight up and down. Force is really, if you do a rail right, force is only really being applied in the direction of the rail. So you don't have to go crazy. There we go. Use V rollers as their reasonable use rail in this application. If you already had a rail, it doesn't matter. Like V-wheels, in my opinion, are the crappiest motion system you can use on a 3D printer, bearing running to Home Depot and getting some drawer sliders. But in this application, this kind of press is good for those that, you know, using what you got on hand. There we go. Also, me doing this is a quartz countertop, so I'm doing this just to make sure it's flat. Okay, turn that off. Self-sourcing V-wheels can be expensive. Yeah, it depends on basically, like these kits, yeah, you could just buy the kit, right? If you buy the kit, then you have everything. But also, if you're planning to self-source, you might have a rail on hand. There's a mod for this that uses an MGN9 instead of an MGN12, okay? So if you've built a Voron already, or you've done an upgrade on a Voron, where you upgraded it from MGN12s for the X to or MGN9s from the X to MGN12s. Hey, you've got spare rails, build one of these. Because you probably already have the bearings too. And then cool, spend $20 on a keyback, or just, you know, modify it to use a counterweight. And you're good to go. Hot Wheels car track, base gantry. Has any, okay, I can't remember what it's called. There was a Hot Wheels movie. It's one of those crappy CGI movies, okay? One of those crappy CGI movies that they used to make. And it was like Hot Wheels racing. It was on a bunch of different tracks, and obviously it made no sense. But somebody went through and like redid all the music to use like meme music. So like running in the 90s and like Tokyo Drift music and whatnot. And I watched that while not in I watched it in an altered state of mind, and it was funny. So now we're putting these on. So these are the arm supports. So these give a little extra rigidity. So these arm supports we're putting on now give a little extra rigidity here because this is two different pieces. You probably, if you had a big enough printer, you probably could import all three of these STLs and merge them together and print this as one assembled unit. There's no real need to. You don't really save any parts. It's not like there's any extra screws, and you need these anyways to mount stuff to. But you probably could, if you had a big enough printer, print this whole thing as one unit. Jacques. 70 Czar, I'm not sure what that is, but appreciate it. Nothing to say. Nothing says thank you like money. I'm not gonna disagree with you there. I am not gonna disagree with you there. Appreciate it. Would it fit on a 350? It is, do I have a scale out here? It's 13.5 inches tall, so it's what, 35 millimeters tall, or 35 centimeters tall, 350 mil. So yeah, you probably could fit this on a 350 bed, but you don't need to. You don't need to. There's really no reason to print this in one piece. Because the rail is the rigidity that holds it all together, and you don't really gain South Africa. So okay, that makes sense. So how do you? So where does it? How? I'm assuming South African rand. So I'm assuming ZAR is South African in South Africa. Where does the Z come from? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Because rand, okay, the R and the A. So where's the Z come from? Just out of curiosity. Okay, so we got that, and then we got these. So these are little strain relief things, and it looks like the hole goes towards the back. South Zud, okay. South African with the Z. Okay, so if you look at these little pieces for the strain relief, there's a little hole that goes through them. Right, it's hard to see. There it is, it's on the one side. Those go on the back. So the hole goes in the back. And actually, I think these were supposed to be mirrored, and I didn't mirror them. Yeah, because there's a, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay, well. And these just attach with more M3/8. Everything on here is M3/8. It's great. This bomb has one type of bearing, one type of heat set, one type of screw. That is what I like to see, with an optional third type of screw. Like to see it. I'm assuming, well, Zimbabwe is its own country, isn't it? I'm assuming the Z comes from Zuid, which is the Dutch word for south. That makes sense, because it wasn't, yeah, South Africa was a Dutch colony, right? Does anyone have issues with Crow's Nest where the exposure time and gain change even when in manual mode? No, maybe not. Today's stream brought to you by Dutch in the letters. I wouldn't say that. If I remember my history classes, the Dutch weren't exactly the best down there. Although then the Brits came in and were worse. I don't know. It's colonialism and Africa are not exactly the most, you know, the most fun subjects. So let's just avoid that. Let's talk about something different. Okay, so we got that, Oh, now we gotta put the key back on. Okay, so we got this little, what is this piece? What is this piece? Where's this piece? There we go, we got the key back holder. Okay, is this two pieces? This is two pieces. Okay, so we got the back. Oh, I gotta put some heat sets in there. Colonials in general, yeah. Usually it's not a touchy subject. How about drones? Am I still fine? Not so much right now because it's fall in Southern Ontario, which means really windy and chilly out. But I have taken them out. I took them out earlier in the year. I did more flying earlier in the year. I know I didn't really do a lot of channel content around them because I did try doing some channel content on drones and it didn't really do too good. So I kind of focused back on other things. Plus, like, the problem is a lot of stuff, it's like, oh, hey, I'm gonna work on one of my quads or something that I probably could have made a video on, but I just go downstairs and I just work on it and then I'm done and I'm like, shit, I didn't record any of that. I'm a horrible YouTuber. The amount of times I like do something where I'm just like, oh, hey, I gotta fix something or I gotta assemble something. And it's like, after I'm done, I'm like, oh shit, I should have recorded that. I could have made a video out of that. It happens quite often. You'd be surprised. So we got some heat sets on the back here we're gonna put in now. Like, why do you think I live stream? Because then I could just do what I normally do and I don't have to worry about recording it because it's just all recorded. Always be, yeah, ABR. Always be recording. Okay, so for this one, I think I'm gonna have to put a heat set in here. Unless it screws into plastic. Does it screw into plastic? No, it screws into the heat set. Because this goes like that. Yeah, so I gotta put more heat sets here. All the heat sets. So the part that holds the key back are these two pieces, and they go on the back, but we gotta put heat sets in here too. So that goes there. There we go. And on the bright side, I don't think I have to take the key back apart for this, which is nice. There we go. Off. Let me get our key back. Ooh, there's like a little lock there. Okay, so I think if I remember correctly, you have to take off the clip. So to take the clip off, there's a little tab down here you got to push down, I believe. Or do you have to take it off? Yeah, you got to take it off. You got to take it off. It doesn't fit. Okay. Or you got to flip it out. I think you might have to flip it out. Let me. So you got to take this off, which, nope. I'm trying to remember how to take these apart. Well, not going to be using it. There we go. Just bend it up and out. There we go. So you don't need the retainer on it. And now that goes like that. Goes over top. Okay. So you got to attach this first, though. So attach this first. And one little trick is anytime you're putting together something that has multiple screw holes, especially when it goes across multiple parts, get your screws started first, then tighten. Because like this screw screws into one part, that's in a heat set in one part, and this screws into another. So there might be an ever so slight misalignment. So start your screws, all your screws loose so that they get started, and then tighten. That way it kind of forces it to find its home. Jobo, SEK 69, nice. To the Coco Press Course Fund, appreciate it. I've got a fridge that's filling up with chocolate relatively fast. And the problem is I can't eat most of it until I finish the first video on it because I need it for content. So now we put the key back in and we put the retainer on. That should hold it in place. Be removed too. I think the separate section of the manual, perhaps. Okay, so you got to take the key back ring off. Okay. Well. We'll just get this together here. So we've got the key back installed. So there's like a little leftover part there from when it had the clip on it that holds it in place, so it's sandwiched there. And this, oh shoot. Okay, that's a problem. Yeah. Okay, so there's like a little locking mechanism. You have to unlock it before you put it in, otherwise you can't unlock it. So now we gotta take these out. Ruh-roh. Yeah, ruh-roh. And we got to take the key back ring off, apparently. There we go. So, with the key back, when you get it, it won't open. You got to like unlock it essentially, and then put it in. It's content, yeah. There we go. One second. Okay. And then we got the base. So we've got M3, Oh, so this is how it attaches. Okay, so I don't think there's any heat sets in. Oh, there is heat sets. Okay, so we got 2 heat sets we got to put in. So there's a heat set. Yeah, we got to put 2 heat sets in the build plate. And I've got 4 screws left, so, oh no, I got way more than 4. For the iron to heat up. Come on, come on, come on, there we go. Is it ironic that the Heatset Press eats Heatset? No. No, I wouldn't say so. Okay, so now this goes on like that. Easy peasy. So there's 2 screws in the bottom here. That we just put in. So you might want to let these cool a little bit before screwing them in. So the last thing you want to do is when the heat set is hot, rip it out. There we go. And then there's 2 that go down the front here, so I'm gonna have to use an Allen key for that. I'm so happy everything on here uses the same screw. Like, it's actually really nice that everything on this uses the exact same screw. There we go. So that's that. Break out. Remove sacrificial piece. Oh, okay. So how does this break out? Oh, dang it. Ah, shoot, because it printed with a brim, it's like, ah. Oh, this is gonna be annoying. It's a sacrificial piece, but it's not exactly coming out too easily. Knife. Yeah, the bamboo got it a little too close to the bed, and it's all merged together now. Shoot. There we go. There we go. Move sacrificial piece, break out run the build plate, glue and bushing. Use super glue, RTP or just 3 drops, and add a drop. So what is the bushing? the bushing is this. Cool. So let's glue that in. Do I have anything to glue it in with? I think we were, oh, here we go. Contact cement. Yeah. There we go. There we go. So we'll glue that bushing in. That ain't going anywhere. There we go. How do you contact cement? 1-800-CEMENT. Hey, more heat sets to put in. Okay, so now we got this part here. Do not forget the key back. Okay, so the key back. Oh, okay, the key back wire goes through this hole here in the back. The rails, okay. So, more heat sets. We got 379 watching. Oh shoot, like the smash button. I didn't realize how many people we got watching here. Like the smash button, ring the bell. If you're not sub. If you want to win some free filament, I give away a spool every stream. Link in the video description, enter for your chance. Do this now. Okay, so we got some heat sets in there. So let's get this. Ooh, this is gonna be fun. Okay, so we gotta take the ring off. So, yeah. So we take the ring off, pull this down, and then, so there's, obviously if you look at it, there's an angle side and a flat side. Flat side up. And then you just slot that in there. That I guess just kind of hangs out there like that. And then you attach it, some M3/8s. And hopefully, if you do this right, so you get your up over the bearings, put it in the slot, get your M3/8 screw. What's up? Here. Oop. And then we put the rest in. Everyone watching to see the printer core. I don't even know if we're gonna get to the printer core today, because what time is it? It's 12:22. I'm gonna have to end the stream around 1 today, because I gotta run some errands before the little guy gets off school. So yeah, so Friday will be fix printer, print, and spaceships. So I don't know what time the stream will be Friday. It depends on whatever time the Starship in-flight test launch is scheduled for, which I think is like early. I think it's like 8 a.m. Central. So it's gonna be an early stream on Friday, I think. Have I seen the Sabor, whatever the heck? Yeah, I mean, I got nothing against it. If somebody wants to build a V2 or a V0 that has everything on it, go for it. Go for it. I like it. Did they get their license? Apparently they will get it in time for the launch, and they're ready to go for Friday. So we got all that. Okay, so this is gonna be fun. I've got to install some heat sets here, but I got 3 of these, and I don't know which one I need. So, oh, did I turn my iron off? Please tell me I turned it off. It's still hot. Shit. I'm gonna go with there's a few different mounts. Okay. and it depends on what iron you're going with. I am going with the cheapest iron I got off Amazon. So there's like a generic one, and then Iconic Fab was nice enough to whip up, which I think these are on the printables page now, different sizes for different ID. So let me put some heat sets in here first, and then I got to unplug it and cool this down, because I really don't want to burn myself on this. So for this, there's 2 heat sets that you need to install in the back. And I think that's it for heat sets. Yeah, so the last 2 heat sets you need to put in are for whatever mount you're doing, for the pinch to hold the iron. Now, if you look at it, there's one side where there's a counterbore, and one side where it looks like there's a counterbore, but it's much smaller. That's the side you put the heat sets in. So I'm gonna do 2 of these, or I'm just gonna do that should be that one. Okay, so now I gotta turn my iron off. We gotta let this cool, because the last thing I wanna do is burn myself. Test will start. Yeah, it depends what time prop load and everything is. Like, basically, I'm gonna schedule the stream to start pretty much right when, like, 5, like, whenever the, like, if it's scheduled to launch at, like, noon, my time, I'll have the stream go live at, like, 11:45. Simple as that. Because they might delay it, so if they delay it, hey, we fix printer and we print, or we do stuff, so. Why not use calipers? Because I did yesterday, because this was too small, so we made 2 bigger ones. But I think I only need the medium bigger one. So we can mount this. I've got like 1 mustache hair that's like gone errant, and it's like poking me, like it keeps brushing my nose. That's why you keep seeing me do this. I've got 1 mustache here, and I don't know where it is. And it's like it decided to go on an adventure, and it keeps brushing my nose, and it's annoying the heck out of me. So if you're wondering why I keep doing this, it's because it's like, just like, ah. Okay, this one. So I'm gonna need Allen key. So this attaches on like that. That's the quality content you come here for. Ring the bell then. Like the smash button. Here all day, folks. Okay, this is really hot. I gotta let this cool. So, this soldering iron that I'm using is literally like a $20 one off Amazon. It came with a kit with a bunch of shitty accessories I'll never use. It's got this like rubber thing on it. I'm taking the rubber off. I'd rather mount it right to the plastic. So how this works is there is like a little slot here that you can slide the iron through, and then you pull it up, and then you just squeeze it tight. Simple as that. So this part's kind of annoying because it depends on your iron and what cable you got. There we go. That might not be tight enough. That might be too big. Yeah, that's too big. That ain't gonna hold it. Shoot. That might not work. Let me grab a screw. Might have to drop it down a size. We'll see. Might have to use that original size. 1 second here. tight. Nope, that ain't gonna work. Keep the rubber on. I don't know if I'm supposed to keep the rubber on. Maybe I am supposed to keep the rubber on. I thought take the rubber off because it's that, but you know what? The rubber might actually be, you might want to keep the rubber on. Always keep the rubber on. Okay, let's see here. Shove the rubber through the hole. Ooh, that is warm. It's still warm. I gotta flip it around now. There we go. No, come on. Ah, come on. There we go, okay. Now will it fit up with the rubber? Ooh, okay, so be careful if your iron's hot. You may want to like get to this point in the build and pause for like an hour and let your iron cool back down before you do this, because you don't want to burn yourself. Now, luckily, nope. Where is it? I gotta have them somewhere. Where did I put them? Luckily, this is my old work toolbox, so I got welding gloves here. So we're just going to skip the waiting part because I got welding gloves. Ooh, okay, that actually might not work. That might not work. I might have to spread it out more first. Yeah, because that's just bunching up now. Shoot. And of course, it's really good to do when you got, you know, welding gloves. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm using a... No, that ain't gonna work. Shoot, that ain't gonna work. Yeah, maybe. Nope, that ain't gonna work. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. How big is this? So with the rubber, it's 18.2 millimeters. 18.8, so it's this one I gotta use. Because I think this one's like 1 mil too small for this. So I was hoping to not use the rubber, because the stock one was like ever so slightly too small. So I'm like, oh, just scale it up a bit. I think he may have overscaled it too much. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. Yeah, shoot. Cut the rubber vertically. Yeah, I'll just switch it out to the bigger one. No worries. Now if I can just get this out without breaking my power cable. There we go. Okay, so now we're just gonna swap it out to the other one, which means I gotta heat up the iron. Fuck. Yeah, shit. I gotta heat up the iron. Okay, first, let's make sure it fits first. So this will go like that. This is a case where better is without the rubber. Okay, yeah, so this. Yeah, so this is the right size one. Okay. So I gotta plug it in now, heat it up, mount the thing, take it apart, cool it down. Oh my God. Okay, let's do this. Let's just get it over with. Let's just get it over with. Let's just get it on. Yes, I'm leaving it in the thing. We're gonna caveman this. We're gonna do this. There we go. Do you have another? I do, but then the thing is I have to wait for this to cool down enough so I can, well, I got welding gloves here, but whatever. We'll make it work as is. Don't worry. Don't worry, kiddies. I got this. I got this. Shit. No, I don't got this. This is the quality content you come here for. Don't forget. Nobody's forcing you to be here. This, you want to see this. You want to see this. I know you. I know you. How am I going to get the screws in? That's going to be fun. There we go. Nope. Tilt that over. There we go. Good enough. Okay. Off. Let that cool off. Take this one out. It's more entertaining than you expected. Well, this is the thing. This is what happens when you do stuff on camera, right? Because like this would just be like, oh, I'll just swap it to the other one. But now I'm on camera, so now I got to make it interesting. And also you see everything. Because remember, like iconic fact, you designed this. So you know all the intricacies of it already because you designed it. So for me, I'm coming at this fresh. So I'm like, ooh, what's this? What's this? What's this? Let's see if I can screw this on without burning myself. So if I do end up editing this into a video, I'm gonna cut all this out and just put a note saying, make sure you use the right size. Let that hang there. On ball head Allen key. There we go. Like a glove. Got 400 people here? What the heck? What are y'all doing today? Maybe I should stream on Wednesdays more. I don't get this many people on a Tuesday stream. Where'd you all come from? Okay, so now we've got that in there. So again, when putting this together, make sure you use the right size one. You don't want to accidentally use the wrong size holder. So make sure you do a test fit before you put it together. And then that goes up like that. And the bottom out, okay. And then we get some screws and we tighten it up. No class on Wednesday. Oh, nice. Oh, hopefully I didn't need any of those parts left. Although, doesn't Modbot normally stream on Wednesdays? I think I'm encroaching on his time slot. I think somebody told me that. So, Wednesday streams won't be a normal thing if he normally streams at this time on Wednesday. There we go. There we go. Okay, so that's that. Was there anything here I needed? No. Well, there's pieces here that we can use for testing the heat set, so that's good. Okay. So now, there we go. So when this comes down, it should go into the hole, which it does. Check alignment. Add soldering iron and check alignment. If soldering iron is fixed properly, its tip should be able to go through the bushing in the hole in the center. Boop. Boop. Okay, so now you have a strain relief here. So this kind of, I don't know if this thing came with the chonkiest wires ever. So we got a strain relief here. I don't know if I can use the strain relief on this thing, but there we go. I know what I'm gonna do. I know what I'm gonna do. Ready? Ready? Pro gamer move here. I'm gonna put the on-off switch right here. Right through the back. Okay, ready? So we got these slips here, okay? I don't know if you can see, wrong button. So the retainers here, this is how you run the wires. So you got that, and what you do is you put a piece of filament in there. That'll work. Got some filament. Some of this. Polymaker Polylite ABS. That'll work perfectly. So, what you do is you put your wires for your heat set there, and oh shit, I'm gonna put a little. There we go. Man, these wires are thick. I mean, that's a good thing, right? You don't want too thin of a wire because this is mains voltage. There we go. There we go. So now I got my on-off switch that's totally just kind of chilling in the back. I could cut these wires. You could always redo this to have like a proper like mount the switch somewhere. This one just happened to come with a switch that's in line with the thing. So now I got an on-off switch. And there we go. So now I get some power. I need to get a longer power cable out here. Okay, don't accidentally fall down. That's gonna fall down. Okay. You know what? Let's put you there. There we go. So now when it's like, okay, time to solder, you turn that on. We get our thing. Put these wherever we need them to be. Obviously it's gonna not work great because I'm in a wrong angle. You should be facing it. And then you just but it's not hot yet, so we gotta let it heat up. Insert canned array effect. Yeah, so if you're wondering on the manual, there's your wire path for everything. And that's it, credits and acknowledgement. There you go. So the advantage of something like this is more so you can leave the iron on, right? Like before, like I've got my toolbox here, right? It's metal. So I would just take my iron and let it just hang over the side. I got a little handle here. So if it touched anything, it'd be touching metal, but you really don't want to leave it on all the time. Here, you can leave it on and it's not touching anything. Like what you may want to do is instead of this printed plastic bushing here, you may want to put like a washer, which I don't have any washers, otherwise I would. So you may want to put like a metal washer here, but this doesn't touch anything. So, and it's pretty stable. If anything, you would want more weight in the base. So you've got plenty of room under here. If you got some lead weights, glue some lead weights on this to keep it from, like, just to make it even more stable, because it's not gonna fall over this way. The only thing I'd be worried about is because you got the power cable coming off the back here. Yeah, that. So you may want to put some, like, if you got lead weight or just anything heavy and dense, glue it to the bottom. And there you go. Done. Ta-da! So that's real nice. And then when you're done, like this, because it's got the power switch, you turn it off, you unplug it, and you just kind of stash it somewhere. You can hang it upside down, you can put it wherever, I don't know. But there you go. Heatset press. Finally got one. Voila. Magnifico. I have a lead acid battery. Sure. Does the recommended wattage for an iron? What is the recommended wattage? Brad, this is literally the cheapest iron I bought off Amazon. Like I literally, like, let's see here. Amazon.ca. I literally went on Amazon.ca because I live in Canada, soldering iron, and I bought this. I literally bought the very first one on Amazon. I had this one before, it works fine. You're melting heat sets, whatever the cheapest one is, honestly. Now, here's the thing, you could, this is designed, this has a TS100 mount. You can mount a TS100 in here. Like, there is a TS100 mount for it. It might be this one, or yeah, and a Pine-Sol. The thing is, these are good irons. I don't want to waste one of these in one of these, because how much is a Pine-Sol? How much is a Pine-Sol? Actually, I think the Pine-Sol's cheaper. How much is a Pine-Sol? I don't know how much a Pine-Sol is. Pine-Sol. $84, yeah. So you're looking at like $84 at, like, this is why you if it's just gonna be heat set iron, like, I've got my Pine-Sol, I use it for soldering. Just buy one of these super cheap ones and just use it for heat sets, and just, that's all it does is heat sets. That way you could leave the tip in there for heat sets and its own thing, and you pull it out when you need to do it, you plug it in, bing, bang, boom, you're done, and you put it away. That way you're not having to, like, because, you know, you don't want to spend like $35. Even then, $35. Plus you need a power supply for the Pine-Sol. This, it's all nice and self-contained. You just plug it in, go, done. This heats up pretty quick. I wouldn't call this super, super quick. That's the one thing you would get the advantage of if you had a Pine-Sol or a TS100, is it would heat up quicker. But we're talking like a minute, not even a minute. Like, this heats up, let's see here. So, okay, well, it's not cold. It's actually really hot still. But yeah, it's, you know. What's the difference to the Pine-Sol? The Pine-Sol uses USB-C. That's pretty much the big advantage. I believe they use the same tips. I have a TS100. I bought this like 3-4 years ago. I bought this when it was like new, and I've dropped it and it's held together with tape. But it just works. And I haven't needed to upgrade because, like, oh, I can get a Pine-Sol, but the Pine-Sol does the exact same thing this does. It doesn't do it any better. It's just a little cheaper. So I've already got that. Why would I do that? So the Hackos are another good option. I have some serious trouble with my Revo nozzle. I tried printing PLA on it. Every time it gets stuck. 280 barely enough to unclog it. Now it's totally stuck and I can't do anything. If you're printing 280 PLA what filament are you using? Coffee Squirrel, what filament are you using? Because, like, how? Pine-Sol can be paralleled by barrel jack and USB-C. Yeah. Does it uses different tips too. The Pine-Sol tips are the same tips that the TS100 uses, where the heating element is in the tip. So you need like you can't, these, like, I don't know if they make these for pine soles. So let's take a look here. So now that we're done building it, let's see how other people have built it. Because this is a cool thing. You can see, wow, 60 of these has already been built. So there you go. Oh yeah, CNC Kitchen has one. That's right. That's right. So yeah, they put a washer in here. CNC Kitchen. So that's another thing though. That's another cost now. Because now you have to buy a separate tip. These tips come with any LDO kit you buy. Any LDO kit you buy, you're getting one of these tips. So that's another thing. Like, you can build one of these dirt cheap. I could build one of these right now with a spare MGN9 rail I have. I'd have to buy the key back, which, let's be honest, you can get by without a key back. You could just use a wire, like use some string and a counterweight if you really wanted to. So I'd have to buy the key back, which I have a spare key back now because my switch wire, I switched over to use the dropper boards. So I have a spare key back already. I have a spare MGN9. I can build one of these for zero cost to me other than the soldering iron. And hey, I have a second soldering iron I'm not using. I can build one of these with just stuff I have on hand right now without a kit. Like, I can literally just buy one. So it depends on your situation. It depends on your situation. Like, there's a reason it's reduce, reuse, recycle. Recycle is the last thing. There's reuse is the middle thing. It's more important than recycling. Like, the joy of 3D printing, the joy of this hobby is reusing stuff. If you've built a Voron if you built a V2 or Trident prior to upgrading to Stealth Burner, you have a spare MGN9 rail kicking around. And most of you built 300s. That's the most common size. So, or 350s, just build a bigger one of these or cut your rail down. So you have a rail on hand. A key back is 20 bucks. A spare soldering iron. You probably already have a soldering iron already that you use for heat sets. So now you could build one of these for pretty much no cost if you have, like, if you've been involved in 3D printing for a little bit, or at least Vorons. So, coffee squirrel printing is 210 to 240. That's high end. Filament is Poly Alchemy Poly Smart, but any PLA retraction is 0.5. You should not be getting that many jams. Make, like, your PID, like, and you're using all legit Revo parts. You're not using some AliExpress nozzle. What is Poly Alchemy Poly Smart? I've never heard of that filament before. I know Poly Alchemy Elixir, but Poly Alchemy hasn't been around in a while. Poly Alchemy hasn't been a company in a while, if I remember correctly. So I say try a different filament. You might just have bum filament. You might just have shitty filament that's causing jams. Because if it's hardcore jamming at 280, that's probably something actually physically clogging your nozzle. Build one of these with old rate. Yeah, like, that's the thing. That's the joy of this hobby. So many people design stuff that, like, you know, yeah, this is a KB3D kit, and if you want to buy the kit to build one of these, go ahead, links in the description. It's not an affiliate link, so I don't make any money if you build one. So if you want to buy one, buy the stuff to build it, go ahead. But again, if you've built a Voron, you've got these heat sets, you've got a million M38s already if you've built a Voron. All you need is a rail, which if you've built a Voron in the last little bit, you might have a spare rail kicking around already. An iron, you probably already have one. And a key back, which, yeah, or a counterweight. Like, this is not a hard thing to build, especially if you have stuff on hand. That's why I like this design. It's like, there's a bunch of people have built. Yeah, a lot of people seem to be using the straight plug-in. So there's a pine sole, I believe. Yeah, there's another Amazon. Yeah. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. There you go. Oh, somebody's got a TS100 with this person FPVs. Ooh, somebody got fancy and put it in their Voron. But yeah. And the cool thing is, there's already a ton of remixes too. So there you have, there's an FX 8801 mount, a mount for that one. There's 400. So if you want to build it with 400 millimeters of Z, go ahead. Accessories holder. Ooh, there you go. You can put all your different tips in there. MGN9H. So if you got the extra MGN9H, you can go ahead and use that. A different iron holder, keyback, a different model of keyback. Yeah, so, and the CAD for, I believe they have the CAD too. So they have the, yeah, so there's the steps too. So have at her, like, have at her. This is something super cool. Now, if you want to buy a pre-assembled one, Naomi Wu's one, go ahead. If you want to buy a kit from a certain creator like Vectors to support them, go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. Like, I'm not your mom. You can do what you want. But yeah. Legit Revo from 3DO. Polymaker is a renowned Norwegian brand. It started when I tried bicolor filament, but now it's just any PLA. Someone suggested a new hotend fan. V2 is a Physec. Oh, that'll do it. You're fine. Okay. I tried it. Over here is a Physec. Every fan in it, junk. I had to swap out every fan. So you probably have a bum fan in it. Try a new part fan or heatsink fan. So yeah. The moment you said said Physec, I'm like, yeah, you got shitty fans. Physec kits come with really bad fans, and at least the one I built, and that was a while ago. Look at that. I greased it. The reason I put grease on it, by the way, is for this. Is for the stiction. That's real nice. So now you can't accidentally like melt something, and when you're done, you just let go and it goes up. You don't have to worry about, you know, it laying on something or melting apart. Easy peasy. Cool. Got LDO fans for it, immediately blew up my first hotend test. That sucks. LDO makes fan. I just use GD Stein fans. Honestly, most of my printers have GD Stein fans or whatever the kits come with. When is the keyboard modding stream coming? Never? I don't know. Maybe if I get another keyboard kit, we might build one on stream, but I've never actually modded a keyboard. I've built a keyboard. I built a little, oh God, was it like a 45%? Oh, a tiny keyboard. I built a tiny keyboard for video, but I've never done a keyboard stream. I've got keyboards. I've done some slight modding to keyboards where I changed keycaps, but that's about it. I have a fixed Toasty Boy. Since I tried to print. Yeah. Oh, Toasty Boy is all good now. Toasty Boy is eating healthy now. It's got Revo high temp in it. It's got high temperature glass filled mounts for the Revo high temp. Oh, Toasty Boy is doing good. Somebody sent me Peak or Peck. I'm waiting for it to show up, and then we're gonna do a stream printing Peck. We're gonna try printing Peck. We're gonna go for round 2, and hopefully the front doesn't fall off this time. What's the normal chamber? I don't know really, because I don't really have a good probe in there for checking the chamber temp. I just know it's the hottest printer I got. And there's no additional heat in there but the bed. I know that gets hotter than my Cheaty with the chamber heater in it. It does get above 60. Which is going to be really interesting. Does anyone here, I know this is a bit of a long shot, does anyone here have the Bamboo E1? Is it the E1? Does anyone in chat actually have the Bamboo E1? I know it's for business sales pretty much. It's only being sold through resellers for business sales. But I'm really interested to know how hot that thing gets internally, because like now that it's winter and my X1 is out here in the garage where my ambient temperatures get pretty cold at night, that thing leaks heat like a sieve. X1E. Oh, X1. Why GD time? Because I'm in Canada and they're dirt cheap. Back in the day before kits, we would buy shit off Amazon in like 10 packs. So back in my day, I literally had like 20 of them at some point because I would just bulk order stuff. I insulated my 2.4 300. It gets a 65C with 105 bed. Yeah. Yeah. This printer is horrible. Like I literally can open this up and I can see the tarp behind it through the printer. Like you can see the outside through the printer. And it's thin. It's very thin walled. It leaks heat like a sieve. Also, Noctuas, you don't use Noctuas in 3D printers. Noctuas, except for controller cooling, like you could use a Noctua. That one has one, and the ones inside do. Noctuas I use for controller cooling, but for your hot end and your part cooling, do not use Noctuas. They do not push enough. Do GD Stein last? Eh, they last long enough. They're cheap fans, so you probably are gonna get the bum fan every now and then, but I really don't care about noise on fans. And they're cheap. Just make sure you get the dual ball bearing. Don't get the sleeve bearing. They're just cheap. Buy whatever fan works. If you know, don't buy GD Stein because I buy them. I buy them because they just work and they're cheap, and I had a ton of them. Now I use whatever the kits come with. So. Yeah, Noctuas though don't have enough pressure. They can't force air through the flow that we need, basically. Okay, what time is it? Ooh, I'm gonna have to end the stream. Okay, we're gonna do the giveaway in like 5 minutes. We'll do the giveaway in 5 minutes. So if you haven't entered for your chance to win some Polymaker filament, link in the video description. At 1:05 we will do the draw, and then I will be ending the stream there because I got some errands to run. Oh, good. Shane's online. Shane, if you're in chat, what panel am I on? I can't remember what panel you put me in. I could probably check the search history or the chat history, but can't remember. I love the internet. Okay, so I posted my picture of the Revo that I killed because I don't know what happened with the nozzle because I was sleeping. The print started fine, and I went to bed and I woke up and I had, you know, a massive amount of spaghetti. So what ended up happening was the Revo nozzle broke somehow. I don't know how, but then the Revo nozzle broke. It's sheared, so we're gonna have to try and get what's left of the Revo out of the heatsink. I may have an extra heatsink kicking around, and it basically just pushed filament right through. Like some of it got a little melty around the heater block, as you can see. But I got a feeling this whole Revo assembly is a write-off. But this is also, for those wondering, that Revo is older than Revo. Not the Obsidian, obviously, but like this heater block and this whole assembly is like from the beta days. So it's gotten a good life out of it. But I love this because I'm like, oh, this killed it. And then you got Kniev, do you pronounce the K? So it looks like Revo is not much better than V6. Who would have thought? What kind of comment is that? Hey, my computer broke. I guess my computer isn't any better than an abacus. Thing broke, therefore not better than other thing that could break. Anything that can break is not any better than anything else can break. This is the dumbest comment I've read in like a week. Like this is TikTok. This is what TikTok has done, where people just blurt out random shit. Like, hey, you know, for the cost of a Revo, it would have been nice to see, you know, that breaking nozzles wasn't a thing. Like, you could have, this guy could have, I don't know if it's guy, but this person could have put a valid argument here, could have worded a proper, valid argument. Okay, yes, a Revo broke and it's an Obsidian nozzle. It's pricey. I'm not happy it broke. Don't get me wrong. But this kind of TikTok drivel is not how you comment. Either form a valid, reasonable response, or don't bother. Let me check this. Let me check this person. Let me check this person. They follow me. 13 followers. They're following 13 people. Joined in 2010. Oh God. They've reposted one thing, and it's a pro-Russian thing. Is it a pro-Russian thing? I don't know. What is this? I don't know. It's all foreign. I think it's a bot. I think it's a bot. Is it a bot? I think this person might be a bot. I don't even know. I don't know. Actually, good way to tell. You see who they're following. I actually do this. I have to like go through my... they follow that. I am the only 3D person that they follow, and everyone else they follow is like... What? Well, here, I'll be nice. Mute. There you go. I'm not a bot. No, they don't follow Elon Musk. They follow like... I don't even know. Somebody named Hash. Somebody with a Polish... They're Polish. Python module of the week. Alan, Ben. I don't know. They follow a bunch of random people. A lot of blue checks though. So I'm like, nope. Check live stream chat channel in the Discord. Yep. Yep, Cadis, mine broke exactly like that. This is pretty much how, I don't know how this happens. I don't know if it like manages to walk itself out somehow. And this is what causes it. Because obviously it broke up in the nozzle. Like this is all supported when it's in the heatsink. So I don't know how it breaks like this. I don't know, like it has to walk itself out, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but it obviously it happens, so. Okay, let's do the giveaway. Blue check, yeah. If you're on Twitter and somebody replies and they have a blue check and they have an American flag in their name, 90% of the time it's a bot. Like straight up, 90% it's a bot or somebody who isn't worth following. Like not everyone, don't get me wrong. There are some content creators I like who happen to have blue marks and American flags because that's their beliefs, but I enjoy their content. So I kind of put that aside. But there is, oh my God, so many bots. Like what I do, I do this like once a day, at least once or twice a week. I actually look at my Twitter and I look at everyone who follows me. Okay, and I don't mean like everyone. I'll load up my Twitter and I'll look at my following, or correction, my followers, which I'm at 13,000 now, cool. And what I do is I go down and I see the new ones and like you could tell the bots. You could tell the bots because it's like they haven't posted anything since 2012. Most of them don't speak English. But they got a picture of like a relatively attractive person on it and American flags, and you're like, you're a bot. It's so many bots, so many bots. Although, this surprised me. This one surprised me. Like, look at this. Peter, blue check. And then you got what? You got Tesla, Oregon. Oh, and the crypto. Anytime I say crypto, oh my God, the cryptos. So we got Peter here. Let's check Peter. See if Peter's a real human being. So let me pull up his profile. Oh, they do have some 3D printing stuff. They just are really, oh no, they are a 3D printing person. That is a real person. They just really love Elon. But this one surprised me. Ooh. Open sauce. It's following me, which I am like, holy shit. Because if you don't know who Open Sauce is, this is William Osmond. He put a convention on in California. It was really cool. And somehow I'm one of the less than 50 people they follow. Yeah, Steve went to that. Steve went to that. So maybe they followed me thinking I was Steve because we're more on people on YouTube. But yeah. I made it. I doubt I made it. I've got a marginally successful single person YouTube operation. I haven't made it. But somebody will make it and win a spool of filament. So let's do this giveaway. Okay, so I close that, view and sheets. Okay, let me copy all these names here. We'll do the giveaway, and then I got to end the stream because I got to run some errands because I got to go get the little guy from school first. Or I got to run some errands, then get the little guy from school because today is Pictures with Santa Day at the mall. So I got to go get the little guy. Wheel of names, wheel of names, wheel of names. Elon was streaming, yeah, on Twitter. Streaming on. Why would you stream on Twitter? Twitter is shit. Don't get me wrong. Twitter is garbage, but there's no better alternative. Because if there was a better alternative, we'd all be on that. Twitter is garbage. Ever since they monetized Twitter, it's been a complete downfall. Because now everyone on Twitter, give me a number between 10 and 20. Everyone on Twitter just tries to get engagement. So everyone just says the most off-the-cuff, crazy bullshit just to get people to reply. 16. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There we go. And the winner is Fincher 62. Congratulations. You will get an email from me after the stream ends with information on how to collect your filament from Polymaker. So yeah, so people post the most like off the cuff, like antagonizing BS ever on Twitter because they know it gets flame wars because Twitter pays based on engagement. So you say something completely either crazy left wing, crazy right wing, you just pivot right to one side because you'll know you get people angry, and then you end it with a comment or question. So, you know, current topical event that most people don't agree with, I agree with. What's your response? And then that it's shit. It's shit. I hate it. Oh, I'm on the 3D Maker panel. Okay. So let's see here. So I'm on 3D Maker panel, 3D Printer Maker's panel. Okay, I'm here. So I will be live on Saturday from 2 p.m. to, well, that would be what, 4 p.m. So from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., I will be live on the charity stream for 1440 Makes. So I'm in here. And I think I'm in here, Modbot's in here, Steve's in here too, I think Steve's in here. But yeah, so from 2 to 4 on Saturdays when I will be streaming. Okay. Okay, so it's me, Steve, Joe, Spanner, the guys from Makers on Tap, and Modbot. So yeah, so there you go. So I will link this here in chat so you guys all have a link to it. Throw it in your so that's there will be a Friday stream. I don't know what time the Friday stream will be because we're gonna do the Friday stream so we can watch the spaceship launch, and maybe, well, it'll blow up if it launches. Either way, if it leaves the ground, it's blowing up. So that'll be awesome. So we're gonna watch that and fix stuff. Send everyone to Modbot. Yes, let me do that. Let me get that set up. Edit. Let me forward. Customization, monetization. No, how do I do this? How do I do this? Redirect, add. Modbot Army, there you go. Okay, so when this stream ends, don't leave. I'm gonna bump you over to Modbot, okay? Because he's live right now, which I didn't realize he was live at this time when I scheduled the stream, and the way YouTube works, you can't reschedule a stream. Well, you can, but it completely ruins the metrics, and it is so sorry, Daniel. But yeah, so this was a fun Wednesday stream. This is built, I'll post some pictures of it on the Discord. I might download the video and make this into its own video, like try and edit it. I've been meaning to try that with some of the streams, is make them into videos, but we'll see. You can rate on YouTube. You can. It's pretty convoluted the way you got to do it. Like, you both have to be following each other and have permissions set up and whatnot, but you can. So I'm gonna call it there. Congratulations to the winner of the Polymaker filament. Shout out to Polymaker. Every stream we give away a spool of their filament. Link for them and more in the video description. Affiliate link doesn't cost you anything extra. Go a long way in supporting the channel. If you are interested in building one of these, check out the link in the description to the KB3D kit. In that link to the kit, there's also a link to the printables page. So if you want to self-source or build a modified version of this, or if you just want to buy the kit and build it yourself, go for it. Links in the description there. And For those that donate to the channel, gifted memberships to others, or became members of the channel yourself, I thank you. I would not be able to do the things I do, create the content I create, without your continued support. You make it all possible. So we're gonna call it there. Don't leave. When I end the stream, you're all gonna get punted over to Modbot. So you can go watch him. He's doing wiring, which is the most exciting thing in the world. So I'm gonna call it there. I got some errands to do. I should have ended a couple minutes ago. So goodbye. Bye, bye, bye.